The massive screens in Times Square went dark all at once. In London, Tokyo, and Moscow, the same thing happened. Every digital billboard, every television channel, and every computer screen connected to the internet suddenly displayed the same image. A tall, imposing figure shrouded in gleaming robes. Ambassador James Thompson stood in the United Nations General Assembly Hall, his heart pounding as he faced what humanity had long suspected but never confirmed, proof of intelligent alien life. The holographic projection towered 20 feet high, its crystalline features catching the light in ways that made human technology seem primitive by comparison. "People of Earth," the figure spoke, its words automatically translating into every known human language simultaneously. "I am the High Speaker of the Galactic Council, governing body of the civilized systems. Your world has been monitored since your discovery of atomic power. The time has come for Earth to take its place among the stars." Thompson felt the weight of 7 billion lives on his shoulders. As Earth's hastily chosen representative, he had to choose his words carefully. "We are honored by your contact, High Speaker. Humanity has long hoped for this moment." The High Speaker's crystalline features shifted in what might have been amusement. "Your enthusiasm is noted, but premature. Earth's admission to galactic society comes with certain obligations." The temperature in the room seemed to drop. Behind Thompson, world leaders and diplomats shifted uncomfortably in their seats. "All developing worlds must contribute to the greater good of galactic civilization," the High Speaker continued. "The Council demands an annual tribute of 30% of all planetary resources. This includes rare earth elements, fossil fuels, biological materials, and water." Gasps echoed through the assembly hall. Thompson's diplomatic training kicked in, keeping his face neutral despite the outrageous demand. "That would cause significant hardship for our people," he said carefully. "Your comfort is not our concern." The High Speaker's voice carried an edge of steel. "You have one standard month to begin collection and preparation of the tribute. Our ships will arrive to collect it. Should Earth fail to comply..." The hologram flickered, showing images of worlds reduced to barren rock. "There are consequences for defiance." Thompson felt a bead of sweat roll down his neck. Surely there's room for negotiation. A more gradual implementation, perhaps. This is not a negotiation. The High Speaker's form grew larger, looming over the assembly. 1 month. Comply or face extinction. The Council has spoken. A hologram vanished, leaving the hall in stunned silence. For several long moments, no one spoke. Then chaos erupted as diplomats began shouting in dozens of languages. Thompson turned to face the UN Security Council members who had gathered in the front row. "Get me a secure line to every major military command. Now." Within hours, the world's governments had convened an emergency session. Inside the UN's secure underground chamber, leaders argued about their options. "We can't possibly give them 30% of everything." The British Prime Minister slammed his fist on the table. "It would collapse the global economy." "Can we fight them?" Russia's representative asked, though everyone knew the answer. "With what?" China's leader replied grimly. "You saw those images. Their technology is centuries ahead of ours." Thompson stood at the podium, watching the debate rage. A junior aide rushed in, handing him a tablet with preliminary calculations from the world's top economic institutes. The numbers confirmed his worst fears. Giving up that much of Earth's resources would trigger a catastrophic global depression. He cleared his throat, bringing the room to attention. "Ladies and gentlemen, we have 29 days, 14 hours, and 22 minutes to find a solution. I suggest we stop arguing about the impossible choice we've been given and start looking for a third option." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity had finally made contact with alien life, only to face an impossible demand. But as Thompson looked around the room at the determined faces of Earth's leaders, he saw something else too. The first sparks of defiance. They had 1 month to save Earth. The clock was ticking. Dr. Emily Reed hadn't slept in 3 days. The quantum physics lab at the Global Defense Center hummed with activity as scientists from every nation worked side by side, analyzing the data from the Council's transmission. Dark circles under their eyes and coffee cups, littering every surface, told the story of their desperate race against time. "Look at this pattern again," she said, pointing to the energy readings on her screen. Her colleague, Dr. Wilson, leaned in closer. Every time their hologram transmitted, it left a unique energy signature. "It's like nothing we've ever seen before." In the Military Command Center 12 floors above, Admiral Robert Blake studied the latest satellite data. The Council's ships had been spotted at the edge of the solar system. Massive vessels that made Earth's largest spacecraft look like toys in comparison. "Even if we launched everything we have," he told the gathered military leaders, "we wouldn't scratch their paint." He pointed to the simulation running on the main screen, showing Earth's combined military forces against a single Council ship. The result was always the same: total defeat. Director Marcus Wells, newly appointed head of the Global Defense Coordination Team, entered the room. "We need to think differently," he announced. Dr. Reed's team may have found something. The military leaders followed Wells to the quantum lab. Dr. Reed looked up from her work, her eyes bright despite her exhaustion. "We've been studying this all wrong," she said. "We were so focused on their advanced technology that we missed the obvious." She pulled up a series of complex equations. "The Council's energy systems are incredibly efficient, but they're also standardized. Every reading we've gotten shows the exact same patterns. It's like they've optimized their technology to the point where they don't even consider alternatives." "And this helps us how?" Admiral Blake asked, trying to follow the technical display. "Because our primitive fusion research doesn't follow their rules," Reed explained. "We're messy, inefficient, and unpredictable by their standards. But that might be our advantage." In the diplomatic wing, Ambassador Thompson was buying them time. The Council's representatives had been demanding daily progress reports on the tribute collection. His screen showed the High Speaker's impatient face. "As you can see," Thompson gestured to carefully edited footage of mining operations and resource collection, "Earth is fully committed to meeting our obligations." "Your species works slowly," the High Speaker observed with obvious distaste. "We are doing our best with our limited technology," Thompson replied, letting just the right amount of humility and fear show in his voice. "Perhaps if we had access to more advanced collection methods." "You will make do with what you have," the High Speaker cut him off. 22 days remain. The transmission ended abruptly. Thompson sighed in relief, then hurried to join the others. In the main conference room, Dr. Reed was explaining her discovery to the world's leaders. "The Council's technology is like a perfect machine," she said, "but perfect machines can be predictable. Our fusion experiments produce energy signatures that their systems don't expect, might not even be able to detect properly." "Are you suggesting we can hide from them?" someone asked. "Better," Reed smiled. "I'm suggesting we might be able to surprise them. But we'll need every fusion reactor on Earth, and we'll need to build more. Many more." Director Wells stepped forward. "We've already started converting manufacturing facilities worldwide. Everything that can be automated is running 24 hours a day. The Council thinks we're gathering their tribute, but we're building something else entirely." Admiral Blake finished, beginning to understand. Thompson looked around the room at humanity's best and brightest. Where there had been despair days ago, he now saw purpose. They had a plan. An insane, desperate, possibly brilliant plan. 22 days, he reminded them. "Whatever we're going to do, it has to be ready by then." Dr. Reed turned back to her equations. "It will be," she said firmly, "because it has to be." Outside, the sun set on another day, and all across the planet, humanity worked in secret, preparing a surprise for their unwelcome visitors. The underground facility buzzed like a disturbed beehive. In the central testing chamber, Dr. Reed watched as another fusion reactor spun up to full power. Unlike the neat controlled fusion that powered most plants, this one was purposefully unstable. "Are you sure about this?" Dr. Wilson asked, checking the readings for the 10th time. "If we're wrong, we'll blow half the mountain away." "We're not wrong," Reed replied, though her fingers tightened on the control panel. "Look at the energy signature." On their screens, the reactor's output appeared chaotic, spitting out patterns that would give any conventional engineer nightmares. But buried in that chaos was something revolutionary. "It's beautiful," Reed whispered. "Their systems are so perfect, so orderly. They've never seen anything like this." Admiral Blake entered the chamber, followed by Director Wells and Ambassador Thompson. "Please tell me you have good news," Thompson said. "The Council is getting more insistent about seeing our collection sites." Reed pointed to the main display. "We've cracked it. Their technology. It's like a symphony where every note has to be perfect. Ours." She gestured at the reactor. "We're heavy metal." "In simple terms, Doctor," Blake prompted. "Their ships use standardized energy fields for everything. Weapons, shields, communications, but they can only detect and respond to energy patterns they understand. Our primitive fusion is so different, it's practically invisible to them. And the good news gets better," Wilson added. "We found a way to amplify the effect. When we link multiple reactors together, the chaos doesn't just add up, it multiplies." Thompson leaned forward. "Are you saying we can hide from their ships?" "Hide?" Reed smiled. "We can do much more than that. Their energy fields won't know how to interact with ours. It would be like trying to stop a tsunami with a chain-link fence." In the briefing room above, world leaders watched through secure feeds as Reed's team demonstrated their discovery. The test chamber held a small piece of Council technology they'd recovered from the hologram projector. "Watch this," Reed said. She activated a standard energy pulse. The alien device's shields easily deflected it. Then she switched to their new fusion pattern. The shield flickered and died. "Their technology literally cannot process what we're doing," Reed explained. "They've optimized themselves into a corner, and we can use that." Admiral Blake's strategic mind was already racing. "How quickly can we scale this up?" Director Wells consulted his tablet. "We've got 15 fusion plants running the new configuration. 30 more will be ready in a week. Every factory with power to spare is building components." "And the delivery system?" Blake asked. "That's the clever part," Reed said. She pulled up new schematics. "We're not building weapons. We're turning the entire planet's power grid into one massive fusion network. When they come to collect their tribute, Earth itself will be our weapon." Thompson's diplomatic instincts kicked in. "The Council's getting suspicious. They've started scanning our solar system more frequently. Yesterday, they demanded to know why we're using so much power." "What did you tell them?" Wells asked. "That gathering and processing resources at their demanded rate requires significant energy expenditure. They seem to accept that, but we're running out of excuses." "We're running out of time, too," Blake added. 17 days left. Reed turned back to her work. "We'll be ready. The next test starts in an hour. This time, we're linking 3 reactors." As the others left, Thompson stayed behind. "Doctor," he said quietly, "if this doesn't work." "It has to work," Reed replied, her voice firm. "Because Plan B is giving up everything we have, and Plan C is extinction." She checked her calculations again. "Besides, they made one crucial mistake." "What's that?" "They thought we were primitive," she smiled. "They never considered that sometimes being primitive means being unpredictable, and unpredictable is exactly what we need to be." In orbit, Council scout ships recorded the increasing energy readings from Earth, but their perfect, advanced systems couldn't interpret what they were seeing. To them, it all looked like the inefficient flailing of a primitive species desperately trying to meet their demands. They had no idea what was coming. On the surface, Earth looked like a planet preparing to surrender. Mining operations ran day and night. Ships carried resources across oceans. warehouses filled with carefully labeled containers. But beneath this show of compliance, a different kind of preparation was taking place. Deep underground, Director Wells stood in the new Global Command Center, watching status updates flow in from around the world. Green lights were replacing red ones on the main display as more power plants came online with Reed's modifications. "Status report," he called out. "Eastern Asia grid is now at 85% conversion." An operator responded. "Europe reports 90%. North and South America at 92%. Africa just reached 80%. Wells nodded, checking his watch. 10 days remained until the Council's deadline. They were cutting it close, but they were on schedule. In orbit, Ambassador Thompson was giving another carefully scripted tour to Council observers. Their ship hung in low Earth orbit, its sensors scanning the planet's surface. "As you can see," Thompson gestured to the live feeds of mining operations, "we're fully committed to meeting the Council's requirements." These stockpiles represent nearly 25% of the demanded tribute already. The Council observer, a tall figure in gleaming armor, watched impassively. "Your energy consumption has increased by 300% in the past 2 weeks." Thompson didn't miss a beat. "Processing raw materials at this scale requires significant power. Our primitive methods are inefficient." Clearly, the observer's tone dripped with contempt. "The high speaker grows impatient with your slow progress." "We're doing everything possible with our limited technology," Thompson replied, letting frustration show in his voice, "unless the Council wishes to provide more advanced processing methods. You will manage with what you have." The observer turned away, ending the inspection. Once alone, Thompson sent an encrypted message to the command center. "They suspect something, but they don't know what. Their arrogance is working in our favor." In the main testing facility, Dr. Reed hadn't left her post in over 48 hours. She watched as the latest test linked 5 fusion reactors together. The energy readings were beyond anything they'd initially hoped for. "Look at this pattern," she told Dr. Wilson, pointing to a complex wave formation. "When we link them together, the chaos becomes almost musical. There's a rhythm to it that their systems simply can't process." Admiral Blake entered the lab, looking grim. "The Council's sent more ships. We've counted 15 in lunar orbit." "How many were we expecting?" Wilson asked. 10, maybe 12. They're either planning to take more than they demanded, or they're planning to make an example of us either way," Reed finished. She squared her shoulders. "How's the global power grid?" "Nearly ready," Blake replied. "But we'll only get one shot at this. If it fails." "It won't fail," Reed said firmly. She pulled up the latest simulation. "Every test has worked perfectly. The only question is scale, and in 10 days, we'll have the largest fusion network ever created by humans." In cities around the world, people went about their lives, not knowing that beneath their feet, their planet was being turned into a weapon. Power plants that once provided simple electricity now hummed with carefully controlled chaos. Every computer chip, every power line, every transformer had been modified to handle what was coming. Ambassador Thompson stood at his office window, watching the sunset. A council ship passed overhead, its massive form blocking the stars. Soon, there would be no more need for pretense, no more carefully worded reports or staged demonstrations. His phone buzzed. A message from Director Wells. "Final tests successful. All systems go." Thompson allowed himself a small smile. For 3 weeks, they had played the part of a primitive, frightened species rushing to appease their new overlords. The Council saw exactly what they expected to see: a weak civilization scrambling to meet impossible demands. In 10 days, they would learn just how wrong they were. In the command center, Wells watched another sector turn green on the display. They were ready. Now all they had to do was wait, and hope their primitive solution would be enough to save humanity. The day of reckoning arrived with the rising sun. 20 massive council ships descended through Earth's atmosphere. their massive forms casting shadows over cities across the globe. Each vessel was larger than the largest human aircraft carrier, bristling with weapons that could reduce cities to ash in seconds. In the Global Command Center, Director Wells watched their approach on the main screen. All stations report status. Power grid at 100% readiness. All fusion plants linked and synchronized. Backup systems standing by. Global communication networks secure. Dr. Reeves stood at her control station, dark circles under her eyes, but her hands steady on the controls. Energy pattern holding stable. The chaos is perfect. Admiral Blake kept his eyes on the tactical display as Council ships took up positions around the planet. They're deploying in a standard resource collection formation, just like we expected. In New York, Ambassador Thompson stood on the United Nations building's roof, watching one of the massive ships hover overhead. His earpiece crackled with the high speaker's voice. "Your collection sites are prepared," the alien leader demanded. "Yes, High Speaker. All tribute is gathered as requested." Thompson kept his voice steadied despite his racing heart. "We await your instructions. Begin loading procedures." Across the planet, massive doors opened in apparent compliance. Council transport beams activated, reaching down to begin collecting their tribute. But something was wrong. "High Speaker," a Council operator's voice came through. "We're detecting unusual energy readings from the planet's surface. Primitive inefficiencies." The High Speaker dismissed. "Continue collection." In the command center, Wells waited for precisely the right moment. The Council ships had to be fully committed to their collection procedure, their energy fields configured for transport rather than defense. "Energy readings at maximum," Reed reported. "All plants showing synchronized chaos patterns." "Council ships are in optimal position," Blake added. "Their shields are reconfigured for collection." Wells took a deep breath. "Ambassador Thompson, are you ready?" On the roof, Thompson straightened his tie. "Ready." "Then let's show them our tribute, Dr. Reed." "Now." Reed's fingers flew over her controls. Across the planet, every modified power plant, every linked fusion reactor, every piece of their carefully prepared network activated at once. The energy pattern they'd discovered, the chaotic rhythm that Council technology couldn't process, surged through the global power grid. The effect was immediate and dramatic. The Council's transport beams flickered and died. Their shields, calibrated for perfect, orderly energy patterns, couldn't interpret or resist the wave of controlled chaos washing over them. "High Speaker," the Council operator's voice was panicked now. "We're losing containment. Our systems aren't responding." On the UN roof, Thompson watched as the massive ship above him suddenly lost its imposing glow. Its perfect energy field, the source of its power and protection, was being disrupted by Earth's chaotic fusion network. He keyed his microphone. "High Speaker, perhaps we should discuss more favorable terms." What is this?" The High Speaker's voice had lost its arrogant edge. "This is impossible. Your technology is primitive." In the command center, Reed allowed herself a small smile. "Primitive doesn't mean powerless. Your perfect systems can't handle a little chaos." Wells stepped forward. "All ships hold position at 20% power, just enough to keep them airborne, Dr. Reed." "Maintaining disruption field," she confirmed. "Their systems are completely overwhelmed. They're running on emergency power only." Admiral Blake's tactical display showed all 20 Council ships effectively neutered, held in place by Earth's chaotic energy web. "Not bad for a primitive species, wouldn't you say?" Thompson's voice came through clear and confident. "High Speaker, Earth is prepared to negotiate new terms. As you can see, we've prepared quite a different tribute than you expected." The silence that followed was broken only by the hum of Earth's fusion network, its chaotic rhythm a song of defiance against the stars. Inside the Council's command ship, the High Speaker faced a situation unlike any in the organization's 10,000-year history. Their mighty vessels hung powerless in Earth's atmosphere, held in an energy field that defied their most advanced systems. Impossible, the High Speaker muttered, watching status reports flash red across every screen. They are barely nuclear capable. They don't even have unified planetary governance. Ambassador Thompson's voice came through their weakened communication system, calm and measured. Perhaps the Council would like a demonstration of what else our primitive technology can do. In the Global Command Center, Director Wells nodded to Dr. Reed. Show them. Reed adjusted the controls of their fusion network. The chaotic energy field surrounding the Council ships began to pulse in a complex pattern. One by one, ships started to move, not of their own power, but guided by Earth's energy web. We can hold you in place, Thompson explained to the High Speaker. We can move your ships. We can shut down your weapons, your engines, your life support, all with technology you dismissed as primitive. Admiral Blake's tactical display showed the Council ships being arranged in a perfect circle high above the Earth. All vessels contained and positioned, he reported. No signs of resistance. How? The High Speaker's voice had lost all trace of its former arrogance. Our systems are perfect. Our technology is the pinnacle of galactic achievement. That's exactly the problem. Reed spoke up, her voice carried through Thompson's communication link. You optimized your technology until it could only handle perfect, predictable patterns. But the universe isn't perfect. It's chaotic, unpredictable, wild, like our fusion reactions. To demonstrate her point, she altered the energy field again. The Council ship's own power systems flickered on and off, completely under Earth's control. Your technology is impressive, Thompson continued, but it's inflexible. You've forgotten that sometimes the most powerful forces in nature are the messy ones. A lightning bolt doesn't care about perfect energy patterns. A star doesn't follow orderly rules. And neither do we. In the command center, Wells received urgent messages from around the world. Other civilizations under Council control were watching the confrontation through their own monitoring systems. Some were already reaching out, secretly asking about Earth's technology. The Council has a choice, Thompson said. We can continue this demonstration, or we can discuss a new relationship, one based on mutual respect and cooperation rather than tribute and threats. The High Speaker was silent for a long moment. Around their ship, Earth's chaotic energy field swirled in complex patterns that their sensors couldn't even properly detect. You understand, the alien leader finally said, that this changes everything. That's exactly what we're hoping for, Thompson replied. Reed's monitors showed the Council ships powering down their remaining active systems, a universal sign of surrender. They're standing down, she reported, all ships showing minimal power signatures. Admiral Blake allowed himself a small smile. Not bad for a month's work. The Council requests. The High Speaker paused, clearly struggling with the words. A formal diplomatic meeting. To discuss terms. In the command center, the tension broke. Staff members hugged each other, some crying with relief. Humanity had not only survived, but had turned the tables on their would-be oppressors. We accept, Thompson said. And while we meet, perhaps your scientists would like to learn about our primitive fusion technology. We're quite willing to share, as equals. Wells watched the Council ships hanging powerless above Earth, surrounded by the chaotic beauty of human innovation. Dr. Reed, maintain the containment field but reduce it to minimum power. Let's show them we can be generous in victory. Reed nodded, adjusting her controls. The chaos is still there, she said, just waiting in the background. A reminder. Around the world, people emerged from shelters and safe rooms, looking up at the sky where humanity had just rewritten the rules of galactic civilization. The Council had demanded tribute, but instead, they'd received a lesson. Never underestimate a species clever enough to turn chaos itself into a weapon. 1 year later, Ambassador Thompson stood in the Great Hall of the Galactic Council. The massive chamber, carved from a single crystal asteroid, housed representatives from over 1,000 worlds. And now, for the first time, it included a human delegation. The motion to accept Earth as a full council member passes, the High Speaker announced, their voice notably more humble than during their first contact with humanity. Furthermore, their representative will join the Technology Innovation Committee. Thompson exchanged glances with Dr. Reed, who sat beside him in her formal science uniform. She had become something of a celebrity in galactic scientific circles after publishing their research on chaotic fusion dynamics. "Who would have thought," she whispered, "that our primitive technology would end up revolutionizing galactic science?" The changes over the past year had been dramatic. After Earth's demonstration of their chaotic energy control, other worlds under Council protection had quickly reached out. Many had their own unique technological approaches that the Council had dismissed as primitive or inefficient. Director Wells, watching the ceremony through a quantum link from Earth, smiled as another report came in. A coalition of former tribute worlds had successfully replicated Earth's chaotic fusion network. With humanity's help, they had broken free from their resource quotas. Status update from the Mars colony. An aide reported to Wells. The new hybrid power plant is online. Council engineers say combining their technology with our chaos dynamics has doubled its efficiency. In the Council chamber, Admiral Blake represented Earth's military interests. He had spent months working with both Council forces and former tribute worlds to create a new, more balanced defense network. The days of the Council's unquestioned military supremacy were over. "The galaxy is changing," the High Speaker addressed the Assembly. "For 10,000 years, the Council sought perfection. We believed that progress meant making everything more orderly, more controlled, more perfect." They gestured to the human delegation. "Earth showed us the flaw in that thinking." Thompson stood to address the Council. "Nature itself teaches us that both order and chaos have their place. A crystal may be perfect, but it's the chaotic heart of a star that gives life to worlds." The Council's technology was impressive, but it was incomplete. Dr. Reed's latest research appeared on the chamber's holographic displays. It showed how combining Council technology with Earth's chaos dynamics had opened up entirely new fields of science. Ships now used controlled chaos to enhance their shields. Power plants across the galaxy were being modified to incorporate Earth's principles. More importantly, Thompson continued, "We've learned that true civilization isn't about forcing everyone to follow the same path. It's about learning from our differences. Every world, every species, has something unique to offer." In the years since Earth's stand against the Council, 17 former tribute worlds had gained full membership status. Each brought their own primitive innovations that, when combined with others, created something greater than the sum of their parts. "The age of tribute is over," the High Speaker declared. "The new Council will be built on cooperation, not domination. On diversity, not uniformity. On the understanding that sometimes the most primitive solution is exactly what we need." Back on Earth, Wells watched crowds celebrating in cities around the world. Humanity had not only survived its first contact with alien civilization, they had changed it for the better. "Message from the lunar base," his aide reported. "The first group of Council science students has arrived to study chaos dynamics." Wells nodded, remembering the fear and desperation of that first month when the Council had demanded tribute. Now Earth was teaching the galaxy's most advanced civilization about the power of imperfection. In the Council chamber, Thompson signed the final documents, making Earth's membership official. As he did, he noticed the High Speaker watching with what looked like respect. "Welcome to galactic civilization," they said, "though perhaps we should be thanking you for welcoming us to a new way of thinking." Reed looked out at the assembly of worlds, seeing not masters and servants, but partners in exploration. "We came together through chaos," she said. "Now let's see what we can build together." The galaxy would never be the same, and that was exactly what it needed.